In this exercise, we're going to teach you how to place down taps, copy taps, edit taps, and move taps. First, open up your PractiCAD exercise template. Then we're going to zoom in here to the two grills on the bottom. Go into your workbox and select a zone. I'm going to choose supply. Remember that your zones and spec tables might be different than the ones you see on this tutorial. Select a zone and select a specification. Here we're going to select 2-inch water gauge. Then go into the fitting parameter box and choose rectangular duct. We're going to size the rectangular duct to 42 by 24. Put the bottom elevation at 15 foot. Now what we need to do is draw a duct line a little bit above the grills. You can do this by sight. I'm going to click here. Make sure that you've got polar tracking on so it's easy. I'm going to click again, and then I'm going to use the up method, U spacebar, and route a duct line. Then go to your fitting parameter box and grab the 45-degree boot tap. Go to the fitting box and change the width out by using your wheel mouse up to 14. Notice that it changes the width in as well. The 45-degree boot tap always stays at 45 degrees and it auto calcs the width in and width out. Now click on your screen to get control of it. I'm going to zoom and pan. And now notice in your command line it says continue tap rotation. Hit T for tap and hit spacebar. PractiCAD should ask you to select the fitting. We're going to select the fitting nearest the grill. I'm going to click once. When we do that, we should have our tap parameter box open. Make sure we have set fitting on in. Then go to orientation and make sure you select near for the right side of the duct. Rotation we're going to keep as 0 because it's a supply run. We don't need to flip the boot tap over. And what we're going to do is first click on in from in to side. Notice we have tap in, to side checked, and in from in to side. I'm going to move my mouse up and down. Notice how you can just scroll it into position. You should have your in from top to side and in from bottom to side parameters equal. If they're equal, this boot tap is centered. If you change in from bottom to side to 0, the boot is at the bottom of the duct it's attached to. Here I'm just going to roll them both until they're equal. Going to give this one 7. Now come over to where you've got your grill and click on the drawing once. And then move your cursor back and forth. You should see that the boot tap is following your grill. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the area of the grill we want to center to. And here you can see that we don't have a center point yet or a midpoint. So I'm going to hold the shift key down and right click. And I'm going to choose midpoint. And then Autocad should give us a midpoint to attach to. Once we have the midpoint lit, click once. And dependent upon whatever routing method you choose, PractiCAD should start routing duct. Now, in this exercise, I'm going to switch it by hitting M spacebar to the smart method. That will extend the straights of the boot. But notice you can change it from E spacebar to exact or U spacebar for up and choose which method will work best. I'm going to hit M spacebar for smart. Then I'm going to click on the corner of the grill. Now go up to your fitting parameter box and find where your end cap is. In my bin, the rectangular end cap is right here. Going to click on it and then hit C for continue spacebar. That should snap the end cap with one click to the end of the duct line. Now we're going to move this over 48 inches. Hit escape to let go of your fitting. Then we're going to click once on the boot tab. Since everything's connected, all we have to do is move the boot tab over and all the duct afterwards should go with it. You should have the in joint highlighted. Notice that I'm on the in joint and therefore we have a blue node representing the in joint. I'm going to click my mouse on it and pull the duct over. And right here, I want you to press F8 for ortho. And notice that we can now cleanly move it up and down. You should have ortho depressed down here in your snaps. So now I'm going to move it up and down the line. We're going to type in 48 and then hit enter. And when we do that, it should move it over 48 inches. You'll actually notice if we do a dimension line from the midpoint here to here, that is exactly 4 feet. So we've done it correctly. Now we're going to copy the tap over. Pan your screen so that we can see the tap here. We're going to copy this duct line over to this grill. First, click once with the left mouse click on the boot tab. Then right click and go to Edit Fitting. Click on Edit Fitting. And notice here we can change the parameters of the duct. I'm going to change the parameters to 24 within. And then press OK. That is how to edit the duct in place. Now to copy the duct, we're going to right click again and go down to Copy Tap. When we do that, PractiCAD should say to please select a fitting. Select the fitting close to the grill. You might need to pan your screen over. But right now we should have the crosshairs. If you click on the screen, the boot tab should be following. Once again, I'm going to shift right click and grab the midpoint. And then hold the boot tab where I want it to go and click once. Now we've copied the tap over successfully. To make sure we've done that correctly, highlight the area and then click on your duct line check to make sure you don't see red marks in front of the boot tabs. Here you can see we've done it correctly. To remove the marks, let's go back into automatics and click duct line check again. Now, take your drawing and put it in Southwest Isometric View. On your ribbon, you can also access that from the View panel, and then you should be able to choose the choice you want. You can also get it from View in the menu bar as well. It all depends on what you have turned on. I'm going to zoom in to our duct. Now let's edit it from the property box. We can right click and do edit fitting, or we can edit the taps from the property box. Going to click once and then right click and select properties. You can also double click on your fitting. Go to the tap parameters in your Autocad property box. Take a look at what you have for a value for in, from, in to side. I'm going to add 3 inches to that value to move the whole duct line over 3 inches. On my exercise, it says 17.119, so I'm going to type in 20.119. Move your tap 3 inches over the same way. Now we're going to change the elevation. Go to where it says in from bottom to side and note what value you have here. We're going to move the duct down 3 inches. All we need to do is subtract 3 inches from this number, in from bottom to side, and I'm going to type in 4 on my screen and hit enter, and that will lower the duct. You can see the elevation of the duct line by looking in your elevation box. Mine's at 15'7". Take note, we can change it here, but if we pick an elevation that raises the duct off the main trunk line, we will get a break. And therefore duct line integrity will be broken and we will not be able to edit the entire duct line later. However, if you raise it through the elevation box an amount that keeps it attached, it will work. For example, here I'm going to type in 15'10" and move it back. Notice that the duct is still attached using duct line check because we've done it correctly. I always recommend editing the duct from the Autocad property box first. If you're going to edit the fitting, edit it here or right click edit fitting. And if you're going to copy the tap, use the copy tap feature inside your PractiCAD options. That'll conclude the exercise on taps.